Technological innovation in the ancient Pueblo of Monterey, 1880. In Monterey, a town of fables and tales with its blend of worlds old and new, its patchwork collection of dusty trails and dry gulches, its modest buildings, cobbled together, bracing one another against the sea wind, Charles Crocker found an ideal setting for the world's most elegant seaside resort. Monterey would forever change. The 1880 arrival of Hotel Del Monte marked the beginning of a transformation in the historic Pueblo of Monterey. This presentation considers the nature and significance of that change. 1870s Monterey, the era of Daniel O'Connell, Jules Tavernier, Jules Simoneau, and Robert Louis Stevenson, had no infrastructure to support the hotel's development. Municipal facilities did not exist. Water for drinking, cooking, and cleaning was drawn from wells. Homes were heated by fires. Lighting at night came from whale oil lanterns. Such was the character of the old Pacific capital when Robert Louis Stevenson boarded the Monterey-Salinas Valley Railroad and bid a final farewell to the Pueblo in December 1879. As Stevenson departed, a new rail line to Monterey, one designed for the travel of high-speed luxury trains, neared completion. On New Year's Day 1880, jubilant Monterey spectators gathered at the depot to greet the first train to arrive on this new railroad. A palace car with Charles Crocker and several local dignitaries were aboard. Construction for Crocker's Hotel Del Monte Resort began about 6 weeks later. It was a turning point in the history of Monterey. Crocker's Resort opened just 4 months after construction began. Pioneering features included gas lighting, steam heating, indoor plumbing, private guest bathrooms, a small telephone network, and a dazzling array of amenities. Sports, hunting in Carmel Valley, fishing in Monterey Bay and Carmel River, and swimming indoors in a grand pavilion were tops among recreational diversions. Wheeling and equestrian parties to Monterey, the Hotel Del Monte Park Reservation, Carmel Mission, and Point Lobos were also popular. Engineering for Hotel Del Monte was ambitious and unparalleled. Nothing comparable had ever been attempted in California. An extensive network of macadam roads and walking paths provided dust-free comfort for guests as they strolled through the botanical park and went on scenic excursions. A high-capacity gasworks provided evening lights with jewel-like brilliance and luster and incomparable room heating. A correspondent for the Sacramento Daily Union, noting that the lighting was far superior to that in San Francisco, said, "The splendor of the light is remarkable." Shipments of specialized equipment for the bathhouse were delayed by severe winter weather and record flooding, but when the bathing pavilion began operations, guests basked in 4 indoor saltwater tanks. The tanks, 36 feet wide and 40 feet long, held a combined volume of 275,000 gallons. All were emptied at night and refilled with fresh seawater each morning. Water for 3 tanks was heated. More than 200,000 gallons warmed daily for guest comfort. No bathhouse in America equaled the scope or scale. Extensive water resources supported hotel operations and development of a botanical park with trees and plants from around the world, from Jurassic period conifers to towering saguaros. Settings as the Mystic Maze, styled after the historic maze in England's Royal Palace of Hampton Court, provided recreational fun for young and old alike. The Marquis of Queensberry, among the hotel's earliest guests, remarked, "There is no place in the world so beautiful and attractive as the Hotel Del Monte." Guests could travel the grandest drive on the continent to Del Monte's 7,000-acre park reservation on a road designed to be impervious to the forces of wind and rain. Granite boulders from a distant quarry served as base rock for the roads. Crushed by men wielding sledgehammers, the granite was mixed with the white sands of the Silomar, then compacted and smoothed by horse-drawn teams pulling heavy rollers. Wheeling and riding parties assembled each morning in front of the hotel for excursions that typically lasted 4 to 6 hours. Tours on the scenic Cypress Drive were also available at night, especially when the light of a full moon illuminated Del Monte's white roadways. The nocturnal adventure attracted both romantics and restless Victorian teenagers. Del Monte distributed its first marketing art weeks before the grand opening, a sketch by French artist-illustrator Jules Tavernier that imagined the many attractions of the coming seaside resort. At the center is Hotel Del Monte, surrounded by scenes of guests on their memorable Monterey vacation. An upper panel depicts visitors at the wooden cross where Father Serra landed and held the first Mass. Another, a line of people going to the Carmel Mission. At lower left, a group huddles beneath the trees at Cypress Point as waves crash on offshore rocks. In the lower right, children laugh and play while women promenade on Monterey's sandy beach. In the middle left panel, a lone hiker stands along the rocky cliffs of Point Lobos, his arms outstretched, as if rejoicing in a moment of reverie. Was Hotel Del Monte the world's most elegant seaside resort? Perhaps. Del Monte created infrastructure and facilities superior to those in America's largest cities. No resort in the 19th century offered amenities as elaborate or sophisticated. Nothing compared to the complex technological operations at Hotel Del Monte. Created beside California's ancient and historic Pueblo, Del Monte's innovative engineering defined a new future for Monterey.